we go. Friday evening. Welcome, one and all. Been over a week since I got around to doing one of these. I had to wait on a few things. Uh, I made mention once upon a time. Sorry. I made mention once upon a time that I did this little thing for ML blog, doing Nationals fan blog and all of that. Well, they were overhauling the site. Uh, trying to, they could now bring it into like the WordPress family, which I I know how to do that, but problem was when they overhauled this, uh, I may have uh, short story made shorter. I already have material on WordPress, and going through this whole bit with the ML blogs, thing having to transfer that for WordPress and all, I inadvertently forgot the password I'd had for WordPress, and so I had to go get a new one, and that meant just wiped everything I had done before off the planet, or go back or I can go back and do it someday. But at any rate, at least I got something straightened out there, so I'm happy. While we're on the topic of the Nationals, the game yesterday afternoon with the Mets. Um, that should not have ended the way it did. Uh, First base umpire blows this call where this is in the top of the ninth, one out. Lance Dix was on second, and Jason Ward comes to bat, hits the ball to the third baseman, where the guy is replacing David Wright at third. Guy double clutches and throws to the first baseman, who's taking over for Wright Davis. Please understand, I don't know these guys' names. Anyway, the foot comes off the bag as Jason Ward gets to first base. First baseman's foot is clearly off the bag. First base umpire calls him out. Now, I have to explain here that I was having to take a bathroom break. Just as I come out, they see Jim Riggleman engaged in a discussion with the umpire, and I had to wait and see what the replay was. When I saw the replay, I'm like, how in the fucking hell did you miss this call? So instead of it being, runners at the corners, one out, you got a runner at third with two. Just changed the whole complexion. I don't know what this is. I think they had it during the broadcast on Mass, and they made the comment. So the miracle, if you could actually get a call to go your way, either in the Bronx or Queens, and they may have a point there, but I don't know. So now, of course, there's this weekend mini interleague deal where basically the Nats and the Orioles are playing. Basically, it just means it gives up it's just the one point in the season where I had to give up on my boycott of the Orioles. I have a problem with Peter Angelos. That's why I don't watch Orioles games. Until somebody puts 3 well-placed bullets at Angelos, then I will go back to watching the Orioles. But until then, no. And as I say, it has nothing to do with the players. It's got nothing to do with the manager. It has nothing to do so much with the front office. It's Peter Angelos I got a problem with. And it's him somebody needs to put 3 well-placed bullets in. And I ain't backing off from that. So go do what the hell you want. One other piece of Nationals news, Mike Rizzo, the general manager, made the pronouncement concerning Bryce Harper that we're not going to see him in Washington at any point for a September call-up. While I can understand the apprehension in the way I do, I'm of the opinion you cannot have Bryce Harper spend a second full year in the minors come 2012. Way I would see it, I can understand it if they say, okay, have them start the 2012 season in Syracuse and then bring them to Washington come June of that year. Okay, fine. But other than that, the fans are clamoring for him. Hell, I'd like to say I saw the guy in Hagerstown, although it wasn't a good night for him. But they see now he's torn up the South Atlantic League. So the next logical step is moving him up, moving to the Potomac, which I say you should do by Memorial Day weekend, but, that's just me saying it. But still, like I said, the fans want to see him there. And they want to see, and I can understand they want to see what he can do, in his minor league pitching and all. Now, that's great. But you got to accelerate this. You got to treat it the way you did Ryan Zimmerman and Steven Strasburg, which is basically you fast track him, meaning you start him at Hagerstown and just go. You have him at Potomac by Memorial Day. You have him at Harrisburg by, the All-Star break in mid-July. You get him to Syracuse by at least mid-August. Have him spend at least 3 weeks in Syracuse, and then you can do what you want to do next year. But you got to move him. You got to have him go every step of the way. See what he can do as far as the South Atlantic League. Now you got to, get the other levels here. That's how it should be, really. So that's pretty much that. Everything else, nobody cares about. The lockout, the NFL lockout is in 13 weeks now. No resolution in sight. I keep telling you, you're not going to see football in the fall. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, folks, but that's where that stands. I'll deal with hockey when we get around to it in October. Or, the NHL draft in June. I don't know, but we'll figure something out. The Wizards made a big announcement. They changed their uniforms. I'm old enough to remember the old Baltimore/Capital/Washington Bullets. Way back in the day, in the 70s and the 80s and all that. And I remember what the uniforms were like. Well, what the Wizards have done is they've gone back to that particular color scheme. Only now it says Wizards, not Bullets. But minor bone of contention. So now, of course, what they need to do is get a real cast of characters around John Wall, and then we'll see what happens in about a year or two. So, okay, that pretty much wraps it up here. First video I've done in a week. And again, I don't know when I'm going to do another one. I'm probably not going to do one Sunday. It's a very special day for me. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to hear anything. But so much to deal with. Oh, I almost forgot. As I said, it's been a week. There's been a lot of things going on. Two notable deaths as far as sports are concerned. Harmon Killebrew. Those of you who are too young, I'll explain to you. Harmon Killebrew was first baseman, sometime outfielder for the Twins. And before that, they were the original Washington Senators, and then they left for Minnesota. It was like starting in '61. But Harmon Killebrew was a pure legend and died, I'm trying to remember, Wednesday of this week from cancer of the esophagus. Now, I can't get the correct term, but that's what that was. And today, they had it across the news. I don't know if you really call this a sports item or not, but those who are familiar with wrestling, of course, of the Macho Man Randy Savage, dead from a heart attack standing behind the wheel of his car. This was outside of Tampa. But he had a heart attack in the car, as I understand the reports, crossed the median, hit a tree. But as I said, the heart attack is what essentially killed him. So the guy was 58. You know, he was at the same age as my oldest brother. That is what that's about. So, those who follow wrestling, they know the guy. I'm not going to do an impression. I wish I could, but I won't. Uh, but we are done now for the week. So, as always, I'm going to just say, uh, adios, motherfuckers. Enjoy your weekend and all of that. I am done. We shall see you soon.